Well, everyone. We've got more, and we're going to talk about 3-6 Mafia. So these guys, they're a pretty good alternative to like Insane Clown Posse, and they've got similar styles. Some of their earlier records really were just about um, kind of the more social type thing of being out in the club. Not and it was the emphasis was not necessarily like in the most friendly of ways. So like you get songs that were like, let me look through a couple of the titles, like Act Like You Know Me and um Tongue Ring, and Barring You Bitches. Some of these songs just dealt with, now are standard topics that go into like club music, but back in the year 2000, these were kind of meme ready and quotable. And, for example, bar any bitches means just can't be dealing with, taking care of these responsibilities. And so, like future rappers took a lot of these same attitudes. I'm not trying to say that as I'm trying to like do like a report on it or something, but I'm just saying you may notice that a lot of people, 3-6 Mafia is considered crunk music, and so before Lil Jon really blew up and people that were similar to him, we did have some of these records, and it's good at the time, but obviously I just want like a revised edition of what we could have, and luckily 3-6 Mafia did make a 2015 album, so you get new, and it's fun because these cats are getting to be 40 and everything, and they're still as slick as they were when they were like 20, 22. And, more importantly, they were also efficient back then. I feel like sometimes, they say slicker things than a lot of people you may see on television. So that's obviously good, and it's a good thing to check out this album. And it just it's rather worthwhile, and I'd like to say that probably a lot of the production on this album is gonna get you like ready. So the lyrical content, like I said, is just dealing with the lifestyle of not being at the house and what you do. So essentially, what that means is these guys are, you know, getting rowdy, doing whatever they feel like doing, and that's just doing it every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and that's essentially it. So that's why it's fun, but I feel like I'm missing something as far as that conversation goes, and I guess what it is that um, it isn't as much of an effect as like a Tech Nine album. Like KOD is still one of my favorite releases that I've heard in a long time, and I'm just trying to think. It just doesn't have like the dark, necessarily just pervading kind of moody, sheer dim atmosphere that um, Tech Nine does. And it really, I guess the way to describe it best is it is just like dark club music, and that's essentially what it is. It had the intention of charting, so you're gonna hear some more songs this time that are um, geared for the club, but it just not the friendliest atmosphere. So I guess in that respect, this album is still pretty much a heavy hitter. So you can smoke to this. There are 18 songs on the album, and addition to 4 skits. The only problem is there's there's a handful of 2-minute songs that really don't do that well, and I really would have just scrapped them. I guess what I'm thinking is this pretty much, CDs can only hold 80 minutes, so they might not have been able to include everything, but these songs are still, they should have picked better ones. So you can smoke to I'm So High, sipping on some syrup, um, barring you bitches, tongue ring's a really good one, from the back, and just another crazy click. These are some good ones to smoke to. And yeah, I mean, barring you bitches has some bells in it. It's really kind of hypnotic. Tongue ring is one of the best beats on here, and that one's just hits you violently. I'm So High is pretty good, except for like you'll kind of hear like some noise in the background that might deter some people, but it's still really good. Um, from the back, some of these are just real good, you know. But I'm trying to think of some other ones. Yeah, you'll just have to take my word for what I'm about to say. The production, now, out of the 18 songs, I like 10 of them. And so the problem with it was that I just did not like more than 10. So 10 out of 18 would have, that's about average, you would think, a little bit better than average, like probably a good 70%, maybe 65%. But, some of the songs like Who Run It, Put Your Signs, Memphis, Touch With It, these just kind of spoil the album in a bad way, and you expect these songs to hit, but just plain bad production doesn't really work that well. It's essentially a party album. It's interesting to see, the ideas that they have, but when the whole song, like the beat included, is not good, this ends up being a waste of a song. So even if there was some good lyrics in the song, I'm probably not going to listen to it. But so I guess that leads me to the unheard songs. These are the 10 songs that you should check out. Sipping on Some Syrup, Just Like Us, I think. Yeah. I'm So High, From the Back, Fuck Y'all Hoes, Tongue Ring, Barring You Bitches, What You Know, Act Like You Know Me, and Just Another Crazy Click. Now, all of these, I think for the most part, some of them have more immediate beats than others, and the idea, you'll like just the atmosphere because you can play them in a good crowd. I mean, they're attention grabbing and they're not necessarily boring. So that's two things it has going for it. Is just it gets attention, and a lot of people will say that 3-6 Mafia, they're not someone that's gonna sit still. So that's essentially what you get. But if you're looking for like, I mean, I'm not gonna go with the cliche and say that there's not depth to this album, because each person had their own thoughts as far as what they're doing, and you'll probably agree with one or two of what they say. When, a few of these cats and woman says. So yeah, so those are the 10 ones. Just check out all of those. Be patient. Some of the beats might not hit you immediately, but they're worthwhile. So I recommend this album, despite the fact that I would have preferred like 12 or 14 out of 18. So I'm going to give it like a 7 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 7. And, I think that's about accurate. These are excellent songs and the energy is there, so you got to keep that in mind. The songs that are good are good. So the future 3-6 Mafia dropped an album in 2015 under the name The Mafia 6. And yeah, this album Social. Now I will give it a 7.5 Social, um mainly because you can hear them. They're pretty. They're acceptable people in the club, and they keep your attention. But a lot. There's still a handful of songs that aren't good, and they'll just kind of leave you wondering what you're listening to, and that's not a good feeling. So 7.5, and I think it can be topped. I mean, 18 songs is really good, but some of the songs, due to space, they couldn't do it, and yeah, so you get plenty of songs. So I give this album a 7 out of 10 and a 7.5 social. Subscribe for more fun.